What's happening? What's happening, y'all?
What's good, everybody?
Ev-
Hello.
We're
Everybody,
we're
everybody.
back in the building, man.
Man, it's been too long, man, but we're glad to be back. And right now, we want everybody to come in the building, come in the room. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the share button, please. It's important. We want to get the masses in here, and we want to get our crew in here.
Can I give a shout out to my alma mater, MUA, Miami
Yes,
Union
sir.
Academy. Let's rep always.
Yes, sir. The best academy
Okay.
on this side of heaven.
Yeah, on this side of glory.
Yo, man, if I could go to an academy, man, it would have been MUA, man.
That's what's up.
MUA.
We
Y'all had
appreciate
an
the love,
amazing
man.
thing down there, man. A lot of great stories I hear. I hear a lot of.
Appreciate
Oh, you repping. Okay.
Are you trying to get
man.
the feedback? We good?
All right, all right, all
Man,
right.
did
Come on in.
y'all enjoy the I know we took last week off, man. Everybody had a good little vacation.
Vacation. I don't believe in taking days off, and so while y'all was
What?
chilling at home, I was
What?
actually filming another show. You know what I'm saying? So I don't do
Where were
days
you
off.
filming from?
Yeah,
Where were you
you
filming from?
literally were on vacation.
Where were you filming from? That's
Hey man, don't
questions
ask.
that need answers.
These are not questions we answer on public domain. You feel me? We don't
Okay.
we don't do that.
All right. Well, once again, we thank each and every one of you for coming in here and kicking it with us. The show would not be the show without you. We got a special guest with us on today.
Yes, sir.
And before we go around and we get everybody's name, one of the things that we really wanted to do was we wanted to have a woman's perspective today. All right,
Yes, sir.
all right.
But
And
but
so
hey, Crowd Kicks, not only today, but every day. You feel me? It's not just for today, but I think we are affirming the fact that we believe and love diversity, and so that's a
Man,
we're
wonderful
gonna
thing.
we're gonna be very intentional.
Exactly,
Now,
that's
if
the
we can
word.
if
Intentional.
we can't find anybody, because of schedule conflicts and things of that nature, but we're going to be intentional. A, because it's the thing to do, and B, because we like it. Like
yeah.
when we had Lavina on, it was a great
Well,
feel,
well,
and really, the women are really what's been making this show pop, man. So we
exactly.
wanted to get them on, and we have somebody who is one of my members at First Church. She is a super usher. Meaning
Oh, really?
she is a great door in a great way, in a great sense.
She's faithful. In other words.
She very faithful, always pleasant. She has a great family. Her husband is one of our elders,
Ooh.
and so they're a power couple. And so I was excited to be able to get Vera on. She's on with us. Go ahead and tell the people a little bit about yourself, where you're from, what it is you do, and
Oh,
and a
well,
little
thank you all
something.
for. Well, thank you for having me. I'm Vera Clemons. As Pastor Shay said, I'm a member. Me and my family are members of First Church, First Seventh Day Adventist Church. I am an attorney. I am a wife and a mother of four. I just had twin boys in April.
Mm,
So as you can imagine, it's a little hectic, it's a little chaotic, but it's a beautiful
really?
chaos. Like I didn't really know what beautiful chaos was until I had four kids. But
Woo.
it's a beautiful chaos. Yes, it's a lot.
Big shout out to yourself. Big shout out to Josh, who is holding things down
With four kids
while
by
you're
himself.
here.
That's
You
that's
know,
that's what's up.
so
Daddy
so
daycare.
much
Daddy
respect
daycare.
to you all. Much respect to you all. I'm Croc
Mhm.
Kicks. Who else do we have here?
Oh, it's your boy Ted, man. Here in the beautiful city of Orlando, where the bubble is happening. There's some good stuff happening in the bubble. Miami Heat are still in the bubble. Miami Heat are still in the bubble.
I don't. Is it? Are the Magic still in the Bible?
We made the bubble, but we're not in it anymore. I mean, come on. Not every team can
Was there
win.
any magic that took place?
There's only one. Yeah, actually, there was only one team can win. I hope for your sake, after all this jaw jacking, that you guys win. That's all I'm saying. I
Well, we got
pray.
a chance. We
Hey,
got
we
a chance
we had a
too.
chance too. We all had equally the same amount of chance. We were all in the bubble at the same time. All right, that's
But we
right.
were, but we're still there. But Gio, go ahead and tell the people a little about yourself, man. Where are you at,
Hey,
tonight,
beloved,
man?
beloved, beloved, this is your boy G.O. I'm all the way from the bottom. 305 is where I stay, but 407 is where my heart is, you know? So,
Okay.
so
All
that's
right,
where it's
there it
at.
is. We're gonna get right into the kicking portion of the show. There's some kicks that are dropping. Man, I don't know about y'all, but things have been dry, and the things that I did want, I took L's on. I took some major L's. And so I'm hoping that I can get my hands on this next pair of shoes that we're going to be talking about. It's the Air Jordan Fragment 3s. These shoes are going to drop on the 16th of September. They're going to come at a price point of $200. Don't tell wifey, but I want these. I want these. I want these. And we'll work out the punishment. We'll work out the situation a little later. But I love the shoe. I love the colorway. I know I'm not one to do white shoes, man, but every once in a while you see something that just has your name on it, man. And those have my name on it. I do think this is also going to be a great shoe if you're looking for a shoe to flip and to resell. Team, everybody, we'll go around the horn. One of the things we're going to add to is we're going to add a little structure to the segment. It's going to be called Kick It or Pass It. So this is a shoe that you like, go ahead and kick it. Tell the people to kick it. If it's a shoe you're not feeling, say pass it. All right. So we'll start off with Vera, man. What are you feeling about this shoe? Is this something that you would kick or you gonna pass it?
I'm gonna pass it. I'm just gonna pass it.
He said that shit
Ooh.
without hesitation.
Say that quick.
I'm looking at it. I was like, it's not for me. But hey,
Man, mad people are
Oh
saying
man,
pass
they
on a
saying
lot.
pass. They
Come on,
saying
Matt.
pass.
Matthew is saying pass. Shay, they don't like your taste, B.
Hey, my man MD White said, "Sweet, I like."
Man,
Okay,
that's
Gio, man, you gonna kick this or you gonna pass it?
well, you're very strategic because you know what I'm already going to say. These are a must cop. So you're not going to be in a doghouse together. Let's make it happen, though. Let's make it happen.
I,
Ted.
I like that it's different. I like the back tab of it, how it's different than what we normally see. Biggest thing is that it's a white shoe, so white shoes just it's always a little hit or miss, but I think it's a clean shoe, man. I think it's a kick it. It's definitely a kick it. I don't see it as a pass for me.
That's
All
what's
right,
up.
all right. We got some comments in here. Juan says pass, but it's a great
Great
resale.
reseller. Hmm.
My college roommate Matt, man, what's up, fam? He says pass, and my college coach, man, my good friend Tony Oliver, what's up, man? He says nice, nice, nice. Tone Capone. All right, Ted, man, what we got next?
So the next shoe we have, man, this is gonna be a little different, and a lot of people. I think the shoe's gonna sell. Let me say that first. But anyways, this is Jordan Air Cadence SP and Fragment. So the Fragment, if you don't know, is a designer, and he has put together a lot of shoes, and they normally sell out with his collaborations with Nike. This shoe to me, I think it sort of mimics. I was
Puma.
trying to think. Um, it mimics some shoe for me, but I think it's a dull shoe. I think it's dull. I don't think it's like I gotta have it. I think it's a pass, but I think it's gonna sell out just because number one, because who the collaborator is, and because right now, like we keep saying, people can only shop online, and so they're going after everything because they can't get into the store. So I think it's gonna sell out. But I think the shoe itself, if it would have had more colors in it, it definitely I think for me it'd have been a kick it because I like that it's different. But it's just a dull. I mean, it's a dull gray shoe to me. So I don't know how y'all feel.
Dang.
Um, I'm gonna already be in the dark house, so there's no way I can get two. But I would kick this, man.
Yeah.
I would kick this, man. I think it's a dope shoe. It grew on me initially. I was like pass, but as I looked at the material, I'm gonna kick it.
Vera,
I
Gio.
I'm actually gonna kick it, and I'm gonna tell you why. As a
Okay.
female, I like that it's gray. It is kind of like plain, but
Hmm.
women, we wear colors. Like I would rock that with like some pink, like a black sweatshirt, black leggings, pink sweatshirt, and add that gray. Like to me, it's a shoe that women can add a lot of pop of color to.
Mm-hmm.
So I could wear it with multiple things. Put it on with some jeans, put it on with like a funky color sweatshirt, funky color t-shirt. However I need to rock it, it's neutral enough for me to rock it with color.
Different
So for
thing.
me, I'm
I
gonna kick
like
it.
it. I
It's
like it. I
supposed to
like
be
it.
comfortable too. So
See, that's even better.
yeah.
I mean, I would definitely kick it. Kick him because they remind me of some Pumas, Shay. They remind me of some Pumas.
Maybe
So
that's what it was.
that's what it was. That's what it was. Now he knew that in pre-production we talked about it, but he doesn't want to give Pumas no love,
I
right?
said when Ted was saying it reminds me of something. I said Pumas. I said
Yeah, I ain't hear
on
it,
the
but
low.
yeah, I
It
do
was on the
remind
low.
me
I
of
said it on
something.
the low.
Yeah, hey, but on some real talk, I love these shows. I think they're dope. And yeah, I would definitely rock them. Man, my boy Mendo says you have to create an outfit to make the style of the shoes come out. So yeah, you're right about
Right.
that.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes,
then
sir.
at the price of 130, I don't think people gonna have a problem at all getting that shoe as quickly as possible. So if you want it, man, you better put in the lead work
Grab
because
it. It's a
you
lot of leg
gonna
work for
yeah.
anything now. And Vera, I don't know if you want to jump out here. I know I didn't
Okay.
prep you, but if you want to knock this next one out,
All right.
all right.
I
This
don't
is
actually have the
so let me. I'll set it up for you. I'll set it up.
thank
This
you.
is the Air Jordan 14 Hyper Royal. Hyper Royal. Now I'm not sure if you have Facebook up. Also,
Yeah, I
Gio is getting
do.
ready to put that picture up in just a second. There's a little delay, so you'll see it coming up.
It's up.
And as it's getting ready, there she goes. Tell us about this shoe. What are you feeling about this shoe? Are you liking
Now,
it? You not?
now I'm not gonna rock it because I don't do high tops, but I
Mhm.
think of what my husband would rock, and I
Okay,
think he would rock that. Now
he'll
he might
rock
get on
that.
here and comment and be like, no, but I don't rock the high tops.
Yeah,
So I like it. Blue is his favorite color, number one. So I think he would like that about it. He is a Jordan fan, and plus it's a different kind of shoe. It's one of those kind of shoes that blue sets it off. I'm kind of
Mm-hmm.
like Ted. I don't really like the whole just white and black. Like if you're gonna do a white shoe, it needs to have a pop of color,
Yep.
and
Okay.
that royal blue has that pop of color. So
It,
for me, for my husband, I'm gonna kick it. I won't kick it
okay.
for me, but for Josh, I'm gonna kick it.
All right.
teamworks makes the dream
Matt
work.
Matt Genius says super clean, super clean. Man, roommate, man, we can't get on the same page, man. This is a pass for me. This is a pass for me. I hate every 14 that there is, man. That little part of the tongue. Can you pull the picture back up, man? That part of the tongue where there's this plastic end of the tongue on both
Ugh.
ends. That piece of the tongue cuts you deeply. Man, I used
Yeah,
to hoop
but
in this pair, and
so
it would cut me.
that's a problem. You cannot lace. So I have these. These are part of DMP
Yeah,
pack.
that
I do
part
not.
right there.
I do not lace them all the way up. That's the
I'm
thing.
straight on them, bro. I
These are
got.
your casual, and they're comfortable. These shoes are comfortable, but you can't lace these all the way up
That's
and play
why.
ball in it because
You
then
know what?
you hurt
Wait,
yourself.
That's why I don't like them. That's why
let
you
me.
made a great point. It's because Orlando
I
Magic
was about
color.
to. I was about to see. Why you stealing my thunder?
Subliminally.
I'm gonna jump out and say I don't play basketball anymore like I used to back in college. But the reality is, can I put it out there? Can I put it out there? I had to after
That's
Monday
right.
night.
You had a series highlight
No,
at the
no, no,
midnight
no. We're not
basketball.
going to talk about that. After a midnight basketball game, I decided to hang up the shoes. But if
Okay.
I did play ball, these would be the kind of shoes I would play ball in. So I would kick them. I kicked all three shoes today. I don't know if I'm generous or what, but I definitely would kick these 14s.
Well, I'll shout out to my nephew Cameron Glover. He said he passed, and he
Oh,
plays basketball, so he said
Oh,
he would
thank
pass.
you, thank you,
So
thank
he
you.
would pass on him. So
It's a
hey.
pass.
That's
It's a pass. So Ted, that's a key. That's a kicker for you, man.
Yeah, so it goes back to again, man. It's that white thing, man. Just that white shoes. It's just you're gonna have to clean those shoes every time you put them on and take them off. If you're driving, you're gonna have the little heel thing in the back where the back of the heels are getting dirty. So it's just white shoes, man. I mean, you get them, you wear them probably once a year, something like that, but you can't wear those things consistently. So um, I think it's a pass for me. It's a pass for me.
Okay.
I
All
like
right.
what your roommate said, boss. If I could just interject, he simply said that these are 305 legends. So that's why I think I love him. Anybody who lived in the 305 know what time it
Well,
is.
I ain't living in the trail 5, man. But
Boss,
nothing but
it's
respect.
ace.
Nothing but respect for MIA. I'm checking in. When I get to the
Hey,
bottom, I'm checking
you got to
in. I'm
check in with
checking
you got
in.
to check in with me in my city. You got to check in with me in my city. You feel me?
I'm checking in. All right, y'all, man. We're gonna slide into the it portion of the show. We got some topics lined up, some topics that are relevant. A lot has been going on, and we're gonna jump right into things. As you all are well aware, if you're in the 305, or if you're from Tallahassee, Florida, or if you're from the state of Alabama, one of the things that is really kicking off right now is college football. All right.
Yes.
And right now, we want to spend a little time talking about college football, talking about players and remuneration. I mean, they're playing, right? Shouldn't they get paid? Especially in the climate in which they are playing in. A lot is on stakes, right? A lot of stakes are on the table right now. And these young men are risking their lives and their health for a scholarship. And education is important, man, but we're talking about millions and millions of dollars. That was a great edit out. As Ted, you brought out that ugly hurricane hat, man.
I just
That
want
was
to
a
make
great
you let
Can
you
we
edit
talk
out.
about
I just
the
want to let you
Hurricanes?
sing, brother. I
Listen,
just want to
Listen,
let you
man,
hey,
we're
sing.
not
hey,
here to
hey,
talk about
We
any
got that
particular
dub.
right
team.
now,
We got that
hey,
dub.
listen, Ted. Right now, we're the darlings of the ACC. Let's see what's
We're
going
not
on in Tallahassee.
Clemson it. Let's
What happened in
listen, guys.
Tallahassee?
Let's stay focused. We're not here to talk about specific teams.
Oh,
All
you're
right.
right.
What
You're
we're
right.
here to
You
talk
want to talk
about.
about Florida State this week?
If, if Florida State would have won, we've been talking about Florida State right now.
Listen,
Promise.
man, the last shall be first, man. Don't y'all read y'all Bibles? Huh? Prophecy being fulfilled, man. So let's talk about this for real, for real. What are y'all thoughts, man? Should these players get paid, especially in the climate in which they are having to play?
That's without a doubt, man. So if I can kick it off, I did a college tour when I was teaching. I took a couple high school students, it's about 80 of them, to different schools. And one of the schools we stopped at was Florida State, and we went into the we went into the what do you call it, the store, and I showed them the prices of the jerseys. Jerseys were selling for like $90,
It's a
and you
Bill's
just
bookstore.
and you just think about it, how are they selling these kids, these young men jerseys for $90, and these young men can't even get $100. You know, it just, to me, it doesn't make sense. They're profiting crazy off of these kids, and to say these kids shouldn't get paid or they're getting a scholarship, that scholarship is nothing compared to what they're making off of these kids. So I think it's a no-brainer. You should pay them. I think
All
they're
right.
worth it.
So
Ms.
let me
Vera,
give y'all some
yes,
stats.
run
Yeah,
some
let me
stats
give
for
y'all
us.
some stats. So this was a subject that was near and dear to my heart because I really believe with COVID, now is the time that your top tier, I'm not talking about your third string, you probably ain't gonna have no voice if you're a third string, but
Yeah.
your top tier can say, you know what, we're not playing unless we change some NCAA rules. So when I was looking up, I was interested to find out that, believe it or not, white Americans make up the majority of the NCAA sports. However, when I say that, that runs a gambit. You're talking about swimming, you're talking
Mm-hmm.
about rowing, you're talking
Mm-hmm.
about lacrosse,
Cross country.
you're talking about cross country. But your money makers, football and basketball, we make up 49% for football and 56% in basketball.
Hmm.
And so football alone, on average, Division I schools on average bring in $31 billion.
I'm
Wow.
sorry, what? I'm sorry,
Million, I'm
what?
sorry, $31 million
Huh.
on average
But
for
still, that's still
football.
big money. That's still big money.
For football. So and we're not talking about your power schools. We're not talking about Alabama. We're not talking about a Clemson. We're not talking
Auburn.
How about a UN?
Auburn, who
Nah,
bring
y'all
in.
ain't
You
doing
can say
that. Y'all ain't
UN.
doing them.
So my point is, you're making all this money and you're giving them a scholarship. That's great. wonderful. But at the end of the day, they're risking their lives, they're risking injury, they're risking all of this, especially during COVID. I mean, so if I don't play, you pull my scholarship. If I do play, I run the risk of getting COVID and having lifelong damage. So yeah, I say pay them. Now is the time for them to stand up and be like, you know what? Enough is enough.
Yeah.
Let's make it happen. You want me to play? You pay me to play.
Yeah, yeah. Ted, I know you spoke on this. Gio, man, what are your thoughts, man?
Well, Vera literally, she covered it all. Mendo says she's dropping knowledge, and I just feel like at the end of the day, even if they're not able to get paid, then I think schools should take out insurance policies out on these players and make them their own beneficiaries. In other words, if as a result of playing in COVID they get sick and they get injured or they ruin their ability to get drafted in the NFL, whatever you took out on them, now you got to pay them that money because it's not fair for them to be thrust into that spotlight. And as we've all played team sports, you don't want to be that person who doesn't have that sense of team unity. Everyone else is playing, and you're the one who says, "I'm not going to play because of my health." Now you're labeled as a selfish person, and even that narrative can hurt your stock going into the draft. And so I believe that even if they don't want to pay them, at least they should take out insurance policies on each of them, and have them paid out to them in the case they get injured.
Yeah, I agree. It'd be one thing if coaches weren't getting paid
Exactly.
tens and 20 millions of dollars.
Yeah.
I'm talking about creating generational wealth over coaching players that aren't getting a dime from this.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole mentality of they're getting an education, man, that's, to me, at this point in society, man, that's slave talk, man. Like, slaves ate. They were given food.
They had a place to live. Yeah.
A place to live.
Yeah.
But if you have coaches that are making hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars, universities that are making millions and millions of dollars, and these players aren't able to get paid, it's not right. And I do believe Florida is positioning itself for players to be able to pay it off for the rights of their names. Did I hear that correct, Ted? Did you hear that?
Yeah, I did hear something about that.
And I believe California also.
Yeah, so, I think that's their first step.
But even still, like, everybody name, what about the person who don't got a big name, So I just think they need to go ahead. As a student, I don't think they just need to restructure the whole thing. I don't think nobody should be just getting paid just so much money off of college football, man. And I don't know. I don't have all the answers to it, but something needs to be restructured.
I think you look at it as the same way they look at ownership of sport teams. For those who don't know, if you can have 10 owners of a sports team, they're not all equal owners. You may have one person who owns a parking lot, one person who owns concession, one person who owns ticket sales, one person owns this. And if you look at and if you say, okay, based off of this sport, football, we're gonna say that the players are just for sake of throwing out a number. Let's say the players are 5% owners of whatever revenue. Like in the NBA, the players own, I think they get 50, anywhere from 49 to 50% of the revenue. So if you say that the players will get 5% of the revenue from concessions, that way now you have a basis to where you can pay each player individually. It's not based on because you're the star quarterback, you're gonna get more than the 80th man on the roster. But if concessions made $1 million, this week, we're going to split that up between our players. And I think that is a way to begin to make it right. Because like you said, you have the coaches making millions off of these players. You have the schools making millions off of these players. You have TV series, shows, stations, networks. That's it. Yeah. The TV networks making millions off of these players. But you have players who don't even know, how they're going to get a new pair of shoes, how they're going to do it besides the shoes that the school give them. But these, and then they can't work. When you're a student athlete, that is your full-time job. School is school, and your sport is your full-time job. So I think they need to, if they restructure it and say that our team is going to be 5% owners and they're going to get 5% of concessions. Don't have to be the whole 100%, but 5% of concessions. Just doing something to show that you appreciate what these guys and these ladies are doing, because giving them a scholarship, I mean, a scholarship is a write-off. A scholarship, if you look at it, they're not really taking into consideration and paying that out of their hair. No, that's a write-off for them, saying we did so much, in scholarship. So I think they need to just make it happen. I mean, it's not, to me, it's not the hardest thing in the world.
Can I play devil's advocate for a second?
Sure.
Like I agree with you, Ted, but let's be like, I agree with that every person on the team needs to get paid something, but I can't say I wasn't going to go to Duke to watch whoever else. I was going to watch Zion. So like that's to me. Yeah. Like to me, you gonna have they deserve more, because I'm going to the Lakers to see LeBron. If LeBron wasn't in Cleveland, I wouldn't have cared less about the Cavaliers. Sorry, Pastor Shay. I'm a LeBron fan.
I am too.
Hey, so is Shay. So is
I'm okay with him now. I'm okay with him now.
So is Croc. So is Croc Kicks.
We good.
So my point is, when he was at the Cavaliers, I'm going to the Cavaliers to see LeBron. I'm going to Duke to see Zion. So to say that everybody should get like 5% across the board, like Zion's going to make more money for Duke's college basketball than, even RJ Barrett. I mean, he was great, but I'm going to Zion.
But can I just add that? I want to add to that and just say, maybe from a different perspective. Right now, no one's getting anything, right? Mm-hmm. So I think that officially, officially, because I want to be real with you. What Vera is saying is true, because unofficially, the top players are getting, those who are getting recruited are getting the bag, right? But what I want to say is, officially, if no one is getting anything now, I think that a structure that at least is able to have an equitable kind of payout to all the players, I'm in agreement for. And then maybe after that we can look at how to incentivize talent, right? But to be honest with you, like Rakik said, some of these students, I watched a show called First U, and I know these are not major colleges, but you see the struggle that these guys have, right?
Last Chance U.
Last Chance U. I'm sorry, Last Chance U on Netflix. The fact that these guys come from some hard circumstances, and now they're in college. Nothing changes. Yeah, they have a roof over their head. Yeah, they have food, but as a college student, you kind of want to be fly too. You want to have good clothes. You want to have good shoes. You want to have a car that you can drive. I'm talking about just the average college student, right? And the reality of it all is they're not able to do that. And at the same time, people are making so much money off of their names. I think that something is definitely wrong there.
Yeah, when I say 5%, I don't mean that each person going to get an equal share. I just mean saying that the team itself will get 5%, and then they can allocate that however they want to. But I think at the same time too, saying where students can make money off of their likenesses, that's huge, because you got students who are in NCAA, the basketball and football games, with EA Sports. Like I said, jerseys are selling for $90, $100. They should be getting money off of this. Why do you have my name on the back of a jersey and I can't get anything off of it? It boggles my
mind. And to add to it, one of the things we do have to consider, though, football and basketball literally fund all the other sports.
Oh yeah. I think that's what Vera was saying earlier.
That starts in high school.
Yeah.
Right. So if these athletes are making top dollars, then those other programs are probably going to shut down. This is something to consider, and perhaps they need to be made. Perhaps if they ain't bringing in no money,
ain't nobody shutting down. Ain't nobody shutting down lacrosse. That's not going to happen.
Well, I mean, if you do it the same way, where you say, okay, our school, okay, the University of Anthony of Ted's gonna pay everybody, every sports team 5% of whatever their concessions is. And so if lacrosse only brings in $100 this week, then that's on them to get their little 5%. If basketball brings in $1 million this week, then that's what they're going to get. So I just think that starts this conversation where you have equality across the board, and you still allow people to start reaping some of the benefits of their labor.
All right, Gio, man, you gonna set this next one up?
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna set it up as best I can. You know, I was reading somewhere about this young lady, Naomi Osaka. She's from Japanese and Haitian descent, and she is a young lady of color. She's playing in a predominantly white sport, tennis, and the U.S. Open has just wrapped up for the women, and she won the championship. But what makes it so dope is not only her confidence, but also her advocacy, right? So literally, she said that she had 7 matches to go for her to win the championship, and so she only packed 7 masks. You know, masks to protect her from COVID-19. So she literally only packed 7 masks because she knew that there was going to be 7 games, and on those 7 masks, she had 7 names. So literally, she had 7 matches, 7 masks for 7 names. And so the names that she put up were, you see there, Breonna Taylor, Trayvon Martin, George Floyd, Philando Castile, Elijah McClain, and I can't read the other, Tamir Rice, and I believe the other one is, I cannot read the other name, but basically the point of it all was that
Philando.
no.
He said Philando
Yeah, the
Castile.
one underneath George Floyd is a little too small. I need
Oh
to get my
yeah, it's a little
glasses.
tight.
Yeah. So, but but basically, she was advocating for these people, for us to remember their names, and that we will never forget who they are as a person. And one of the questions that one of the reporters asked her is,
Alberry.
okay, yeah, yeah, okay, good, 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 good. One of the questions that was posed to her was simply, what were you thinking? Why did you put those on? How did it make you feel? And her response was kind of cool. A lot of people thought she was being snarky, but I thought it was more so as it was a deep response. It's not so much about how it made me feel, but how did it make you all feel, right?
Mm,
And so I thought that was pretty dope.
yeah.
I mean,
I'm,
I'm with it because there you go. It starts a conversation where, like she opened it up for him. It's like, who cares how I feel? How did you feel?
Yeah.
What'd you think about it? Is making you think. I mean, and it's making some people. I mean, as we see, I don't know if we have it on here, but as we see where people are responding to these different sports things, and some people are responding in positive ways, some people are responding in negative ways,
Hmm.
where they're back to that Laura Ingram ideal of shut up and dribble, and I think the more that you put it in their face, then either they're going to appreciate what it's about, or you're going to really start to see and continue to see the true colors of people. So I mean, I'm all for it, and I love that she's doing it. She's a winner. You can't take one thing. You can't take the winning away from her. You can't take her ability away from her. She's doing it, and she's making a statement at the same time. She could be one of those people who just sat on the sidelines and didn't say anything. I mean, a little, Japanese slash Haitian, woman, they would let her pass and say, oh well, she's not really black, so she don't have to say anything. But the fact that she's putting it in their face, I appreciate it, man. I'm all for it. And I'm all for. I don't care if you're white, green, purple. If you're an ally of the cause, I'm all for it.
respect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think. No, no. Go ahead, please.
No, no, go ahead.
Nope.
Oh. Naomi, she has been, she's an interesting, and I can speak to her from a woman's perspective. I will admit, when she first came on the scene, I did not. I was a little sketchy on this
Me
chick,
too.
and I'm
Me
gonna.
too.
Oh, okay, good. So good, because
Especially
I know
against
I'm gonna
Serena
get a
too.
whole lot of backlash from people like, what?
Nah, I
No,
agree.
she. My issue with her was I felt she was immature. She was like, I remember she lost one of her matches, and then she literally just got up and walked out of the interview, and I was like, dude. And honestly, I compared her to a 15-year-old Coco Gauff who handled herself much better in her
Mm,
losses.
mm,
And so she was always one that I was like, mm. But in that, God is like, come on, she's 20, she's 21. You got to extend grace. Remember how you were
Mm,
at 20 and 21. So to see her go from that to this, because I actually, when this came out, I don't follow her on Instagram, but I looked up her page, and one of the things that she said, which I have to give her mad respect for, was she said, I was expecting everybody else to do something, and then I realized I'm in a platform where I am that someone that should be doing something. So I give
That's
her
dope.
mad respect for, from where she was a couple of years ago. I was just like, oh, I can't with this
Yeah.
chick. And then I seriously, I mean, it's just real talk. And women can tend to be harder on women, but it was just like, you're already in this predominantly white sport. We hold each other to a better standard. Like, come on, be a little bit more polished, be better. But I see her maturity, and I think what she did was awesome. She brought awareness. She stood up. She used her platform. So I appreciate her growth. I see her growth. I see her maturity in that. So I think it's awesome. Mad respect for it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, correct you.
No, it's all good. It's all
Someone
good.
mentioned. I think it was Yolanda Bryce. Shout outs to her. That in the Cincinnati Open, I think I remember reading that this. I think this is when I forget what happened, but she literally walked off and forfeited a match. And she said, "Before I'm an athlete. I'm a black woman first." And so I thought that was kind of just dope because you're losing money, you're losing a match, might be losing seating, but yo, this is more important.
Yeah, I'm not I don't really follow much tennis, but I would say that seeing somebody of elite status still supporting the cause,
Right.
it really speaks volume to the person, because we know individuals who reach a certain status and the only thing they worry about is their endorsements and things of that nature, and they remain quiet on things. But for this woman, to speak up and to use her platform to educate and to advocate, man, my hat goes off to her. And also, I'm thinking about my nieces and my play nieces who now have somebody else that they can look at. And, because in my generation, we had the Williams girls, we have somebody else now that we could see, we could do this too.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing that we cannot do. So, major props to Naomi. I'm excited. I'm happy for her, and I think this is just the beginning of her takeoff.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Ted, man, you wanna step into this next one?
Yeah, man. So this one is a little touchy. It's a little
You
touchy.
got this, bro.
But I believe it was last year or some prior to that. We had a young man that was running for governor here in Florida, by the name of Andrew Gillum. And there were some things that happened. Story came out about him, being caught found in a room, passed out, with um a young model, male model, and someone else. Someone was overdosed and all this other stuff. And so he stepped away from the limelight for a little while to go and do go through rehab. Um, he made a statement how he was addicted to alcohol. He even pushed it further today, and he said that due to his losing the race to Ron DeSantis, that he began to go deeper and deeper to alcohol to where it became an addiction. And the big story today is that in the middle of the story, and we're still waiting for the full interview to come out, but in the middle of the story, he said, "I identify as bisexual." Now, this is a brother with a wife and kids, and he came out and said that today. And I'll talk to my wife about it, and I began to look around, and I knew a couple people that knew him personally, and one of the guys, he's an attorney here in Florida. And he said that when Andrew Gillum came out, he didn't come out to everybody. He just let some of y'all in. He said a lot of people, most people at FAMU already knew, but it wasn't their place to speak on it. And he said that we were going to still support him, and we support people no matter the race, creed, color, or their gender, their sexual preference, or whatever. And I thought that was powerful because especially with us being Christians, man, it's easy to be judgmental of what other people do, um, and I think that we have to learn how to love people and support people, whether or not they agree with my ideas. but it's about who the person is, and we have to love them regardless. And I think the support that the people showed around him, I think it's another example when we talked about how with Black Chad with Chadwick Boseman, how his people in his circle didn't say anything about the sickness he was going through.
Yeah.
The people in Andrew's circle never said anything. Nobody said, and he's a politician. This would have came out by now. Nobody within his circle said anything about it. And I think just being able to support somebody, whether or not you agree with them or not, but being able to support them and love them and still show them that you're still a human. And so I'm going to love you and support you. I think it's props to his people, props to his circle. It's unfortunate that it had to come out the way it did. But I just think, props to his people. And, hopefully when the interview come out, they give us some more to talk about. I know his wife is there with him. His wife is supportive of him. So
can I ask you a question? Can you and this is a very benign question out in the open. Can you disagree with someone's lifestyle and still support them? And I think, of course, for me, the answer is yes. And so, I mean, it's just is I think it's just for me, it's just unfortunate how it came out. I think I was reading. He said that at his most vulnerable time of his life, somebody was over him taking photos. Like, you know what I mean? They captured his most vulnerable time of his life. Whether you like it or not, all of us have had vulnerable times in our lives. And I just thank God that nobody was standing over me with a camera, taking photos and to paint a narrative and to paint somebody back in a corner. That's kind of crazy. I was, and I don't know if this is factual or not, so I don't want to speak too much on it. But I was reading about the Tamara Hall interview, and in it said that I think his wife had called him on that particular day over 50 times, and he had not answered, or maybe he had ignored it. And man, that thing is so deep to me because it reminds me kind of like the Holy Spirit that's always chasing after you. And there comes a time when, like, literally, if you're not open or sensitive to that call, sometimes the protection has to remove itself so that you can go through what you go through and come back to your senses. And so, I think for me, for Mr. Gillum, I think that this road that he had to go through may make him a better person in terms of maybe a better husband, a better father, and maybe a better leader in his community.
Yeah. And I would say there's opportunity for him to even be a better Christian. And I say that from the standpoint of a key portion of that is going to be how Christians treat him. Like, this man is probably in his most fragile state.
Yeah.
And what do people who profess to be followers of Christ, how do we treat him?
Yeah.
How do we react?
Yeah.
With him opening up and sharing what he's going through. And everybody doesn't have the same, faith practice or, morals or, compass and things of that nature. But at the end of the day, we're all human. And like Gio said, all of us have been in vulnerable situations. It might have been 5 years ago.
Yeah.
It might have been 10 years ago. But what if there was somebody standing over you with a camera, And I think if we would just keep in mind that aspect of it and we would be humble, I think we could offer love to the individual in spite of what the individual has done, whether you believe what he's doing or not. Still got to be able to love the person, love the individual.
Yeah.
I think for me, to answer George's question, would I still vote for him even though I disagree with his lifestyle? And the answer to that question is yes, because, and let me go clarify this. I am not saying Barack Obama is in any shape, form, or fashion anything, but he was a proponent of gay marriage. So, but I would still vote for him if he was on my ticket tomorrow. I mean,
in a New York second.
Ballot, I'd be like, all right, here we go. if I could write him in and it made a difference, I would write him back in. So yes, from a Christian standpoint, I feel like the reason why Christians have a hard time is because we still want to quantify sin. I am a liar, but I'm better than the person that's cheating on their spouse.
My Lord.
I am a gossiper, but I'm better than the person that robbed the bank.
Yeah.
I am a fornicator, but I'm better than the person who is out there on the street making money for her fornication.
Yeah.
So, like, I think God has been really working on me with things. Like, we're not perfect. He doesn't expect us to be perfect, but God expects us to be intentional.
Yeah.
And when you are intentional, that means you have the same grace that he extends to us every second of the day. We have to extend that same grace to someone else. And he is the judge. What goes on in that man's household is really between him and his wife.
There you go.
They got to deal with that. That's not me. I'm not going to bring that into my household. And I'm not talking about his lifestyle choices, but I'm not here. Who am I to sit here and judge him?
Yeah.
He, like you said, it's his most vulnerable point. And honestly, truth be told, the reason why the cameras weren't on us 10 years ago is because social media wasn't as popular.
Come on now.
Come on now. I remember being in law school and law professors would be like, look, y'all this is back when MySpace and all of that was like, you need to be careful because employers are looking at MySpace pages at what you do. Yeah. So the only reason why we haven't been caught at our most vulnerable on camera is because social media wasn't a big thing 10 years ago. So,
praise the Lord.
Phones with cameras. We barely have phones with cameras.
Right. We just got the flip phone.
I thank God for that Nokia. Praise the Lord.
You could deny the pictures. The quality was so bad. You could deny that joint.
Right. So I mean, I agree. I think we just need to extend love, and like you said, and this is an opportunity for Christians to truly surround him with love. And surrounding him with love doesn't mean condoning if you disagree with his lifestyle. No one is condoning or condemning. We're just saying we just need to love and we need to extend grace. The same grace that God extends to us, we just need to extend to everybody. Andrew Gillum, everybody. That same grace has to be extended to others.
Amen.
Yeah, so I do see a comment.
I'm posting them. I'm trying to get to them as fast as I can.
Okay. Yeah. I could. For me, and this is just for me. When you say, "To death do you part," through sickness and health, yeah, we know that the Bible gives, examples, criteria in which you could leave your spouse, and clearly this is one of those. But if that woman wants to stay with her man, hey, who am I? Who am I? That's, and truth be told, like, if anything, it takes such a, and I'm not an advocate for anybody. You got to do whatever God tells you to do in your marriage, your relationship. But I'm not going to look, and I'm not saying, Yolanda, looking down at her. But I just see it that this woman has a whole lot of grace, a whole lot of love to give to him. And I think in this moment, this is exactly what he needs. And who knows what happens down the road. But man, to see her stand by his side and them go through this, I mean, my hat goes off to her. It's a big woman, because that's not an easy thing to do.
Yeah, so like I said, the full interview hasn't been released yet. It was just an article popped up today, and I immediately just started.
I think
about it and reached out to a couple people about it.
I think the interview was today, Ted. I think it was.
But did they release it yet?
I think it was supposed to air today.
It was supposed to air today.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't think any one of us have had a chance to watch it yet. So, I think we watch it, and if there's anything we want to pick out of there, we can talk about it again. But just wanted to share that, man. And like I said, I just appreciate how the people around him.
But before you go,
let me just say one thing real quick. I got to say something real quick. Y'all, my brother does not have a Facebook page, so he uses my Facebook page. So he's commenting, and some of these comments ain't me, but I told my brother, he's watching. Go ahead and comment. So Croc, you got free reign, but just go ahead and put KC in parentheses as your comment, man. But you got free reign. That's my brother. He uses my Facebook. He's not about that Facebook life.
Can I just add that to Yolanda? I think that maybe that's something we should talk about on on another show. How sometimes women do stay with their husbands, and many and every time you see that, it's usually like a politician or someone who's out there leading in a public life, and they've had their indiscretions, and in the midst of it all, you see the wife is standing next to the person, almost like for a photo op. So I know that that's one thing on one hand, but then as Croc Kick said, some people are very particular about their vows, and in the good times and bad times, and the bad times is cannot really be quantified, right? Or even sometimes even qualified. As life comes and hits you, the bad will roll in, and so I think that's something we could probably talk about at a later time. But I think today we just wanted to talk about love and support, and again to just talk about the fact that at this time, we just need to be praying for one another, right? And
Oh, and can I say something kind of to Yolanda on that? Like, I don't want anyone to crucify Andrew Gillum's wife. Like, and the reason why I say that from a woman's perspective is, matter of fact, I'll even put her name out. Sherelle Gilbert posted something on Instagram. I read it like right before the show started, and she said, and it was a quote, and it said that there is peace in the calm of the seas, but there is power in the storm. And what she was saying is, when the seas are calm, I'm at peace and I find my peace. But it's only in the storms that I find out what my power truly is and where the source of that power comes from. And if that woman chooses to stay with her husband, that's her right. And we do not have a right to, not necessarily, I'm not saying Yolanda is crucifying, I'm just speaking to women in general. We don't have that right to come in and say, oh, if she, she shouldn't stay. That's a personal choice. That's a choice that she's got to make and that she's got to work out. And what y'all say, he has kids. That brings another element into something that, you know what I'm saying? It's just not always easy to pack up and say, I'm going to leave. And so, I'm just, until I walk a mile in your shoes, I'm going to defer to, like Pastor Crockett said, like whatever God places on you, then that's what you have to do. Because at the end of the day, you have to stand before him and answer for whatever choice you make. And so, and I can't answer for you. And so, like, let's just extend grace to her as well. Because I know people will crucify her for wanting to stay. They will crucify her for wanting to stay.
All right, all right. I think there's great conversation here, and we're going to continue to pray for our brother and to be the example of love that God has extended to us. So ultimately, we do not have a heaven or hell to place anybody in, and so absolutely, we want to support. Once again, every show we do, we want to make sure we say the name Breonna Taylor. We want to make sure we do not forget her name. Her killers are still out living their best life, man, and we want justice. We do not want her to be forgotten, and so we want to make sure we say her name. And then also, we want to urge all of you all to go out, register to vote. Take care of everything you got to take care of. Do not wait to the last day to go and vote. If you can vote early, go ahead and do it. Make all the preparations to make sure we do that.
Let me add to that. Please do not rely on mail-in voting. Do not rely on mail-in voting. If you are one of those people, an elderly person can't get out of the house, or you are unable to get to the polls on the day of, you can fill out that mail-in ballot, and at the polling stations, they're going to have drop boxes. Someone can pick up the mail-in ballot for you and take it to a drop box and place it in a drop box at the polling station. We don't want to get caught up in these shenanigans. because
Yep.
I'm trying to tell you, it's gonna be some shenanigans.
So,
I heard 55 minus 10 say the other day that
yeah.
he's going that if he wins this time, he's going to negotiate to get a third term. I'm trying to tell you, there's some shenanigans on the way. We have to be vigilant. We have to be smart. We have to. There's a game being played, and we can't be the suckers or the losers, as 55 minus 10 says.
Ted,
We have to be above that. So
Ted,
good.
Ted, I want you to go ahead and reiterate that point very eloquently, right? You're saying, which is, but at least in Florida, at least I know that someone after you filled out your ballot, you can literally give it to someone, and it can go to. Does it have to be your polling booth or any polling booth?
From my understanding, they have drop boxes in front of all polling stations, and so therefore, I mean, I personally would try to, if it's close to my house, it would make sense to take it to my polling station that's closer to my house. But from my understanding, you could take it to any of those drop boxes. But I would just to be safe, I would make sure to take it to a drop box, with my polling station. But
All
my
right.
point is, don't wait to try to mail it in because we got a new. Just don't wait, please.
Lewis, the
Yeah.
joy, the joy.
Yeah, that's
All
the
right.
name.
We we got some more stuff on the docket, but unfortunately time has gotten away. We got some technical difficulties also that are arising. A storm is brewing, and so we want to go ahead and transition to close. I do want to say, man, mm, we are definitely upset. There's no justification for what transpired with Roderick Walker, the gentleman that was in the passenger side, a passenger in the lift car.
Yeah,
Um,
was the lift.
it was a lift. And so this is something that I think we're going to have to revisit on next week. It's not something that we've forgotten. I don't care what was going on, the way he was handled, the way he was dealt. It was sickening to see on TV, man. It really broke
Well,
my heart.
can we talk about it for a little bit? I think we can talk about it.
Let's talk about it. Because I think people need to be aware too of what their rights are and the thin line between being black and trying to exercise your rights and being black and making it home safely.
Let's preface it by this saying this. If we black out, we all have a wonderful night.
Don't
But
speak that. We
we'll
good.
talk about it.
We're
We
good.
got
We're
about
good.
4%. So let's go.
We got it. We got this.
All right, and Vera can chime in on this as well. We have a constitutional right to be free from any undue search or seizures, um, and that extends to you being in a car. So the only time that a police officer is supposed to be able to ask for your identification is if you've committed a crime or suspected of committing a crime or a traffic violation. Um, if you are, and I know specifically in Florida, if you are driving a car and the police pulls you over for some type of traffic violation, they ask you for your ID, you must show your ID. Nowhere have I seen anywhere. I'm not from Georgia, so I don't know their laws, but I know nowhere have I seen in my law studies or anything where if you are a passenger, you are required to submit your ID. As a matter of fact, you have the right to really remain silent. If you don't have your ID on you, you have the right to say I don't have my ID, and you don't have to answer any questions because you are not the person committing a violation, and unless the officer can articulate that they have a reasonable suspicion of you committing or about to or have committed a crime, then they have no reason to ask for your ID. So this brother was well within his rights to not provide any ID. Now, I'd say there's a thin line between being black and doing this because I've watched numerous YouTube videos of people who intentionally antagonize police about them pulling them over, about their rights, about not having to show them IDs and this and that, but they don't look like me and you. So therefore, they do that and they go home without harm or incident. When you're black in these situations, you still have the constitutional right. You have that constitutional right, but do you want to go home safely? Do you want to get home alive?
I'm gonna leave it to the attorney.
I mean, Ted said everything that I was going to say. The only thing that I would add is that in 24 states, you have in Georgia, Alabama, and Florida are included in those states, what you call your stop and identify law.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that does not give. And before I go, that let's clarify. When a police is stopping a Lyft or Uber driver, he is stopping that Lyft and Uber driver. He
Exactly.
is not stopping unless he has some police investigation or some
Exactly.
investigation of a particular passenger in that car. If he is pulling
Like it's a
a
sting.
Lyft driver or an Uber driver, it is for that Lyft driver and that Uber driver. So the passenger in that drive in there is really has nothing to do with what that traffic stop is. Nothing
Exactly.
to do with it. The only reason or the only time the passenger will come in is, like Ted said, if there is reasonable suspicion that a crime is being committed. So, for example, if you pull an Uber driver over and the police goes up and he asks the Uber driver for his identification and he has the smell of marijuana in the car, then at that point,
Probable cause.
you've got probable cause. There is
Everybody,
reasonable
yeah.
suspicion of.
Mhm.
So everybody in that car is
Yep.
now involved in what was going to be just a traffic stop for the Uber driver. But this is what I want to make clear. Even though Alabama, Georgia, and Florida, and I'm speaking because we're from the South, have those stop and identify laws, if there is no reasonable suspicion of a criminal activity, they don't have the right to ask for a passenger's ID.
Mm-hmm.
They have no right. So the question comes: what's the reason? What caused him to ask these people for their ID?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And because there's really, unless there was reason of a crime, there's no reason for him to have, and they have a right to ask, why are you? Because the way I read the story was Roderick didn't have ID and he said he didn't, so they asked the other passengers in the car for their ID, and they asked, and they responded, why do you need to see our identification?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, and maybe you all can shed light on what transpired between them asking that question and between the time the video occurred. I'm unsure if we
But
have what actually occurred during that
I mean,
time.
I don't have, I can't tell you what happened, but I can tell you what didn't happen. You know what I mean? I can tell you that they didn't get, he wasn't allowed to walk away from the
Right,
crime scene like the other guy did in Kenosha. You know what I mean? Like
right.
he like the guy who literally murdered those two people at a protest. He didn't get to walk away past the police officers. I think that for me, and again, I'm not a lawyer like Croc Kick said, so I'm gonna put the law aside and deal with the emotional and what I feel is like logical. Like literally, the guy is in a Uber. You know what I mean? Like I
Right.
remember or Lyft. I was in New York for my wedding, and my cab driver got pulled over. And you know what we did? Literally, we got out the cab and we walked till we got another cab because we were trying to get somewhere fast. And so I'm saying this to say that in no world does it make sense to me that a cop would have the audacity to ask a passenger of a ride share car for their ID unless he is trying to entrap or to create some kind of context in which something can happen where now they have the green light to say that someone was resisting arrest, causing bodily harm to police officers, and so that's how I
It's
Well,
see it.
just
go ahead.
it's just a lack of value for life. I mean, we don't see that level of brutality and force being applied to people of who aren't people of color. I mean, to not have a weapon on his person. He had on slides and like some
Shorts.
shorts that was coming off, so you could tell there's no weapon on him. And for him to just be manhandled and choked after everything that's going on in society, for there to still be so much force placed on his upright, body, it's just a lack of regard for life.
Well, let me say this, and I agree with you. And Ted, you can kind of tell me what's your thoughts on this from this
Mm-hmm.
perspective. The reason why I asked what occurred is not because on its face, yes, the reason for the stop, because I think they said the deputy stopped him for a broken tail light.
Yeah.
That right there is excessive force on its face. But the
Mm-hmm.
reason why I say what I want to know what occurred is because of this. Because in order for our cause, Black Lives Matter, you got to. I don't want us to get into this. In order for our cause to go, I don't want it to come out later. I'm not saying it is. I'm not placing blame, so please don't misquote me. To come out that he was drunk and he antagonized the police or he did something, because when you do that, you give the naysayers cause to drown out what we are fighting for.
Yeah, get what you're saying.
And so that's the reason why I asked what happened. Not to question him, not to be on the side of the police. It is simply because I know the more and more we have to fight this battle, if our ducks are not lined up, if we don't have all the facts, so that when we go protesting, that we don't have, because they're going to say, so let's just throw out a hypothetical that he was drunk. He antagonized the police. We come to find out he was drunk. He tried to hit the police. Okay, then you got the naysayer, oh, you're going around talking about Black Lives Matter, and then look at what you have. And that drowns out our cause. So that's the only reason why I'm like, we have to stop and get everything. So, because we are Black in America, and being Black in America means you got to get everything right in order for you to fight, in order for you to even fight another day.
It's
And so
it's
that's
it,
my
it-
cause.
it's just so unfortunate that we're not even talking about equality anymore,
Right.
because
Mhm.
equ- we see people who aren't of color that are drunk,
All the
that get to
time.
go home, that
Right.
don't get slammed face down and choked
I mean,
out.
we see
It's
worse.
just frustrating that what we have to do is always have to be far beyond. My mom and my dad used to always tell us, you got to be better than.
Yeah.
We're not even talking about equality.
There was a video. I don't know. I can't speak to the veracity of his truthfulness, but there's a video of a car accident. I think it was out in Cali where this guy was clearly drunk. I mean, everybody around saw the guy was drunk. Police came, investigated it, and had him just walk it off, like go home, like nothing happened, right? But yet somebody could be in a Wendy's parking lot sleeping. You know what I'm saying? And instead of just saying, okay, park your car or go home, what happens is he ends up getting shot in the back. So I'm saying this to say that you're right. As a black person in America, that we don't get to have those opportunities.
Liberties.
We don't have those
Right.
liberties, right? We have to do everything right, and that's a burden that I don't think that is fair, and I think that's why people now in this day and age are kicking back. And I welcome the energy. I welcome the allies who are going out there making sure that they're lending their voices to the movement. And by God's grace, I hope that we can really make an impact.
Yeah. What I want to do is just make sure, and I said it at the beginning, that there's a thin line between exercising our constitutional right as Black people and making it home safely as Black people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, like I said, I've watched numerous of videos at nauseum of people doing things to antagonize cops, just so they can prove to them that they don't have the right to do this, they don't have the right to do that, and they get to go home. We don't have that luxury.
Correct.
Um, and I'm the type of person, Croc and Gio know me. I'm the type of person, I know that within me, because I know my rights, that I have the ability to be an antagonizer if I wanted to be one. But it's coming to the point where we have to swallow being human in order to live.
Mm.
My God.
Mm.
We have to swallow. We have to. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. These people who don't deserve our respect, but because they're the person with the gun and the badge, and they get to go home no matter what,
Hmm.
that we have to swallow our pride in order to make it
My
home
God.
safely. So I want our people to know that yes, we have some constitutional rights, even though you can argue that the Constitution was made for us anyways. But we are supposed to have some constitutional rights. But if we want to make it home safely, we got to swallow our pride
My
nine
Lord.
times out of 10. We have to. Is I don't have my ID. Sorry, sir. Sorry, ma'am. What can I do? How can I help you? It's to the point where I know my license. I know my license number by heart. I know it by heart because in the event that I ever lose my license or something, I want to be able to articulate to a police officer, here's my license
Mm.
number. You can look it up. Blah blah blah. Cha cha
Right.
cha. Because what people don't realize is that a lot of times when these officers ask the passenger for their ID, they're trying to see if you have warrants or anything like that.
Right.
They're not. They would tell you, oh, I'm just trying to get your information. So, no, they're not just trying to get your information so they can have it on record. They're trying to see if you have warrants or
Yeah,
anything
warrant
so
for
they can
your
go ahead and
arrest.
make an arrest. So we have to be smart. we have to play it. Do I want to go home or do I want to die as a martyr today?
So
Because that's the game we're playing right now.
so the
And
whole
think of it in terms of your family. I'm sorry, Joe. Like, think of it in terms of your wife. Think of it in
Hmm.
terms of your mother. Like, it's hard, and I cannot imagine as you all being black men how
Hmm.
hard it is, especially for you all. But I can only say that I would rather my son swallow that pride and for
Yeah.
him to come home
yeah,
than for me to have to say he was prideful on his tombstone.
yeah,
Mm.
Like that, like
Yeah.
I get it, and I appreciate you saying that, Ted. I get, and I don't get it as a black man. I
Mm.
don't. I really, really don't. But I do get it as a wife of a black man, and as a mother of black boys.
yeah,
Mm.
I get it, and as an aunt of black nephews, I get it. And my thing is, I hope to instill in my sons is stand up for what you believe, but there is a time and there is a place and there is a system.
Yeah.
And come home and we can fight the battle.
later, yeah,
If
Yeah.
you were
Yeah,
wrong, I'm not
yeah.
saying let it go.
Yeah.
I'm just saying let it
Mom's
go for
got you.
now.
Let's get home.
yeah.
Yeah.
Get home,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
let's go to work. Like that's me.
I
Go, let's get home, come home,
Yeah.
let us know, and then we're gonna fight this battle the best way that we can. But at least I know you were safe at home for us to fight the battle. I don't want to have to fight the battle in your honor.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 Absolutely.
It's well said.
All right. Um, great topics. Let's slide. Let's transition to our
Oh,
entrepreneur,
just very quickly though,
please.
that cop was fired. We want him arrested, but he was fired. So just for those who didn't know, the cop was fired. Well, the one who was punching him in the face, not the other one. So.
Totally unnecessary. Yeah, man. But at least they move swiftly to do something. Because one of the things that really bothers me is when I see paid leave, like they on leave. They've been that's a paid
Paid
vacation.
administrative leave. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I want to hear that.
I think because the realities of this case was so, I mean, out of this world. Like you're asking someone for their ID. That's a passenger in a rideshare car, and then no matter what the case, no matter what happens after that, he's on the floor getting punched out. Like someone's got to pay for that, right? So I think it was just too egregious. So yeah. So you wanna set up the next one,
Sure,
Crockett?
sure, sure. We got our black entrepreneur spotlight. This is a personal friend of mine. Her name is Candace Jones. Her husband, they have a business entitled Afro Essentials. Afro Essentials. And what they specialize in are natural hair products. They just opened up a skin line entitled Skin. Now, this is a product that I use. This is a product that my wife uses. She's going natural. She's in the transition period. I use her products on Caleb and even on Baby Jackson, all natural. For me, the thing that I use the most is the hydrating rose, the orange rose refreshing mist. I spray it in my beard. Then I put a little bit of that leave me alone strawberry coconut leave-in smoothie in the beard. I comb it out, I brush it out, and it's good. As you see in front of you, Candace Jones, Afro Central. Check her out. She's on Instagram. She's on Facebook. Great products. She's a great individual. Her and her husband are from St. Louis, and they both attended Alabama A&M. All right, Afro Centrals. Check them out. Get your hair I don't do no lotion. But I can't have my beard dry. Okay, I can't have my beard dry.
I mean, you don't use lotion at all.
On my hands and on my face, yes,
Listen,
but my legs.
Vera, you haven't seen your pastor in shorts. If you seen him in shorts,
No,
you would know the
I
answer
haven't.
to
No,
that
I
question.
haven't.
And I will say this:
I haven't.
black does crack. Black does
Yeah,
crack.
black does crack.
But that's it, y'all. We getting ready to sign out. Thank you all for joining. Can we give a special virtual a round of applause for our guest host, Vera? Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. She
Yeah,
Thank
just
you for
had
having
10
me.
we
boys,
appreciate you. We
2 girls,
appreciate
and you were here with us. Thank you
Thank
all.
you for having me.
Awesome. Let's give also Joshua Clemons, my classmate, a
Yes,
shout out
sir.
for holding it down. All right. With that being
They
said,
screaming in the background. He gonna hand them to me as soon as I
yeah,
have them.
and that's how we do. That's how we do. So you're gonna sign out, Clark Hicks?
George, do we got a second or two?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Vera, do you got the Prestos?
Yes, I do.
We can't leave without the Prestos.
All right, come on. Go ahead. Do your thing.
So, I watched Kickinit316. I guess it was a few weeks ago, and y'all had the Australian Air Prestos.
Yeah, we did.
I wanted those shoes. I told my husband, those what I want for my birthday. That's what I'm getting.
Gotta make it happen.
He was like, all right, cool. Well, he went on, set a reminder and everything. The shoes sold out in 5 minutes.
Wow.
5 minutes. So them shoes I won't have no more. They gone. So he decided to. I don't know how to get this on Facebook or show them on.
I got you.
No, we got you. We can see it.
These right here are the ones that he got me.
Yeah.
Love them, and he also have them monogrammed with mine.
VWC.
Nike ID love.
I see you, Josh, getting brownie points.
Yeah.
Yes.
I have not worn these shoes, but I tell you, these are the kind of shoes I'm gonna be rocking all fall with some leggings and sweatshirts.
Yeah.
They're going to be there. So thank you, Josh.
They look great. Look, ladies rock kicks too.
Yes, they do.
It's a movement, and we support it. Those are dope.
I watched Kickinit316.
See there?
There it is.
We're just trying to put y'all on.
We're trying our best to add to the culture, you know.
Love. That's it. Thank you all for watching.
I got something I'll show.
Oh yeah, you got something?
I'll show next week. My
wife
I saw that Nike box.
My wife blessed me with something, which was a quick sellout shoe, but I'll talk about next week. Yeah.
Oh, she won something for you. I got a pair too, but I was gonna show mine off today. I'll wait. I'll let you do yours next week. I got the week after that. For sure.
Yo,
all right.
We signing out, man. God bless you all. Have a wonderful week, and we will see you right here next week, same time, same channel. We out.
Same energy, baby.
Same energy.